Welcome to the show today. My name is Blossom. We have a powerful story for you today. From sickness to health, powerful, mighty woman of God, Miss Angela Day. But I'm not the one to gossip, so I'm going to let her tell you her story. We'll be right back.
Everyday life, steady coming at me. Everyday problems, steady trying to grab me. So I'ma give them up to you.
Give them up, hey.
I'ma throw them up to you.
I'ma throw them up.
I can't run from my problems. I'ma run to the one that can solve them. And I'ma give them up to you.
Give them up, hey.
I'ma throw them up to you.
Welcome back. Like I told you, I am not the one to gossip, and you ain't heard it from me. So I'm going to let Miss Angela Dates tell you how she came from sickness to health. Angela, welcome to the show, girl.
Thank you.
Today you're going to tell us how God blessed you, healed you, and delivered you. With that, you want to tell me about, girl, what's going on?
Amen, amen.
Amen.
In December 2010, I was diagnosed with colon cancer, which was a shocker to me. And I remember the doctor calling me with the news. He called me over the phone, and I remember calling my pastor, and my pastor said, "Are you scared?" And I said, "No, ma'am, I'm not scared." She said, "Well, good. I don't need you to get scared because that's when fear takes over and the cancer kills the people." And so at that time, she began to pray for me. And as she prayed, I just felt a calmness to come over me. I had to go to see the surgeon. It was like 3 days later. As I went to go see the surgeon, he told me everything that he needed to do. He told me the do's and the don'ts and what may happen during the surgery. Short story, I was there the next week. Surgery lasted maybe, it seemed like to me all day, but maybe like eight hours. I had to be there at 5. And when I woke up in NICU. And the doctor told me, he said, the Lord must have a work for you to do.
Amen.
Because I didn't expect for you to make it off the operating table. And he began to tell me everything that needed to do. He went in to do the colon, but he ended up having to take my spleen out because he said he saw some on there, and then ended up breaking my breastbone to scrape some cancer from behind that. And like I said, when I woke up, it was excruciating pain, but I thank God that I was alive. And he told me I had just enough intestines to hook back, and I didn't have to have a colostomy bag.
Wow, God be the glory.
Awesome.
Now, with that being said, had anyone in your family ever, you know how they say it's a generational, had anybody in your family ever went through something like this?
Well, when I was in the 4th grade, my mom was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Yes. And a hysterectomy done that, and she's healed. Okay. Like myself, I am healed. He did talk to me about chemo, and the physician came up and he talked to me. The oncologist spoke with me about doing chemo, and they wanted me to do 12 weeks of chemo. Right. In which 3 days a week would have been, I think, like 36 treatments. Wow. And I did 5. Okay. Which was half of that. 5, which is 18, did half. I remember laying in my bed one night before church, and I was laying there and I was crying and I was talking to the Lord. And I said, Lord, I don't know why this happened. I said, but even if you don't heal me, I'm going to serve you. Amen. Amen. And that next morning, went to church, and my pastor had a prayer line. And I went up in the prayer line, and she spoke and said, God said, you're through with this. This is the end of this. And that was my confirmation. So when I went back to the doctor's office, to the oncologist, and it was time for me to do my treatment, my regular Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, I told him I wouldn't take it anymore.
Did you get sick? I know a lot of people say they throw up, loss of hair. You got some beautiful hair, beautiful hair.
Thank you. Well, to God be the glory, I did not get sick. My gait got a little steady with my walking, unsteady. But other than that, no. No nausea, no vomiting. No.
And you only had 5 treatments?
5 treatments.
Wow, that's God.
That's
God.
And that's the number of grace.
That's it. Right now, if you could look into the camera and just minister to somebody, because somebody's going through what you've been through, you know, share your testimony. It's a blessing for you to come on here and to even open up like that. Because some people don't want to talk about things they have been through, but that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to help the next person come along.
Right.
So if you could look into the camera and just minister to somebody and let them know what God did for you.
Okay. Okay. I don't know which one. First of all, know that God is a healer. And in His Word, when He said, by His stripes, you're healed. And that was over 2,000 years ago. So believe that no matter who comes to you, the physician, even the thoughts that come to your mind, cast them down, because fear, like you said, fear is false evidence appearing real. And it will make you feel a certain way or act a certain way or lay yourself down to that sickness.
Yeah.
Do not stand up, declare the word of God, speak it daily, listen to worship music, pray, and have you someone that you can confide in at all times. He did it for me. He'll do it for you. He's not a respecter person.
Yeah. Family members. Okay. Are you married?
I am.
You have kids,
Yes.
correct? Okay. Now, did the doctor say that the children need to be checked? To see, how they say to make sure that the kids, it don't fall on the kids. Have they instructed y'all to do anything like that when it comes to your daughters?
Right. When they get at the age of 39, they should be checked.
Oh, okay.
Each one they will be checked.
But that generation curse has been broke.
It is. It's destroyed.
It's been broke. We're just going to stand and believe on that right there. Now, what type of work do you do for a living?
I am a nurse at the nursing home and also teach nursing assistant.
Wow.
At Shelton State Community College.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you have a lot of your colleagues try to tell you you should do it this way, you should do it that way? You know how the doctors want to talk to one another, nurses want to talk to one another.
Actually, no, they asked me.
Okay.
They asked me, how did I do it? What did it take? Did you have someone there? Did you lose your faith? Did you lose hope? And I can stand and say, no, I didn't.
Oh, it's a blessing.
No, I
It's a
didn't.
blessing.
I did lose a little hair,
Yeah.
but it has grown back.
But I'm telling you, it looks good. It don't put now another wig on. Your hair is beautiful. I'm telling you. You know how they said when Moses, when God walked past, this wisdom. You know what I'm saying? And for you, and you're sharing wisdom with someone today. And I thank you for coming on the show and telling us your testimony, because from sickness to health, you know, that's powerful. That's a powerful story. And every chance you get, you should tell your story and tell somebody. That's what we're supposed to do. Let people know that you can overcome this. You know, like I said, I thank God for allowing you to come and just being part of this show today, because you don't look like you've been through that. You know what I'm saying? Looks are deceiving. It don't look like you went through this. And what year you said this?
2010.
Wow.
And I just passed my 5-year mark, December.
Wow.
And I went last Thursday and got a clear report.
Wow.
I'm healed.
Amen. Amen.
I am healed.
So now what did you do to celebrate once you got that final report that you were healed? What did you do? I mean, you didn't do nothing special for yourself?
No, I went to church and told it.
Hey, that's good. that's good right there.
I told the good news. I told the good report, because he said, whose report would you believe?
That's right.
And I believe the report of the Lord.
That's right. That is so true. That's but like I said, mighty woman of God. I've been knowing you now about almost 8 years, and like I said, we don't see each other every day, but when we do see each other, we say hello, how you doing, love you. And that's what we're supposed to do, is tell each other we love one another, because you never know when you might see that person again.
Amen.
You know.
Amen.
Like I like to always share my favorite scripture, which is Jeremiah 29:11, where it's telling us that God, He wants the best for us. He wants to give us better in life, you know what I'm saying? And because He kept you here, He has more work for you to do.
Amen.
You know, we just can't sit around and say, oh, He cured me. But what are we going to do with that, you know what I'm saying? So do you go around and speak in different places, or?
I have not, but as of last week, as you mentioned, he just told me it's time for me to start opening up.
Wow.
It's time for me to start testifying.
And look how God did it on the Blossom Show, you know, so that was,
Amen.
that
Amen.
was God, you know
I
what I'm
know.
saying? You know, and because you was obedient, He's going to bless you for
Amen.
that.
I
You know what I'm
receive
saying?
that.
I'm telling you, with everything I'm standing on, He's going to bless you for being
Hallelujah.
obedient. But like that, with that being said, like I said, Jeremiah 29:11, I love that scripture, because it tells me that we're going to have a good ending. It may not start out right, but the ending is going to be mind-blowing. You know, our ears haven't heard, our eyes haven't seen what He has in store for us. And with that, I want to thank you for coming and sharing your testimony. And now when he starts opening up them other doors for you to speak, I'm going to bring you back because I want to know what you've been doing since he's cured you.
Amen.
Okay. With that being said, we just want to thank you. And I love you, mighty woman of God. To stand still and know who God is, okay?
I shall. Thank you. Amen.
The challenges facing the country never stop. So neither does the U.S. Army. We train, adapt, and get smarter. Every soldier, every unit, every day. Not to keep up with change, but to drive it. Nobody knows what problems tomorrow will bring, but we do know who will solve them.
You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Here's the sower, Michael Guido of Meta, Georgia, with a seed for the garden of your heart.
3 little boys were caught in a storm. One started to cry and the other joined in. But the big brother said, "Stop your bawling. The Lord knows his business. He'll take care of us." And he did. One night, some big boys were crossing the lake and a gale swept down on them. They were terrified. But Jesus came to them walking on the water, saying, "Don't be afraid." They received him into their boat, and immediately it arrived at their destination. Are you in a storm? The Lord will come to you just when you need him. Take him into your boat, won't you?
A seed from the sower has originated from the studios of the Guido Evangelistic Association, Meta, Georgia.
Welcome to Creation Minute. I'm Eric Hoven. The Grand Canyon. 277 miles long, 10 to 18 miles wide, and more than a mile deep. That's impressive. In the bottom is the Colorado River. You know, some scientists suggest the Colorado River formed the Grand Canyon over millions of years. But take a look at these facts to see it from a different perspective. The Colorado River exits the canyon 1,800 feet above sea level. It enters the canyon 2,800 feet above sea level, and the top of Grand Canyon is 7,000 feet above sea level. So you tell me, did the river flow uphill for millions of years to carve out the Grand Canyon? Or is it possible that the Grand Canyon is the result of Noah's flood? To learn more about creation, visit us at creationminute.com.
Get to you, they'd have to get past us. America's Navy.
You're watching the Christian Television Network, proclaiming the most powerful name of all.
Welcome to the show today. My name is Blossom, and today I am going to gossip. I'm gossiping about what God has done for me. As you know, God bless me. I'm the author of 2 books called From Under a Bridge. For 19 years, I was on crack cocaine, and I lived under a bridge in the backseat of my car due to my drug habit. So that's what the books tell you about my life. Book 1 tells you what led me to crack. I just turned 50. I know I don't look it, but I just turned 50. And back in my days, you know, we couldn't talk about abuse or molestation, and that's what occurred. You never went outside the house and told anyone that such a stuff. So I had to keep that secret. Book 2 tells you how I ended up going to prison, a mental institution, jail, rehab after rehab. But by the grace of God, I have 11 years clean. So that's what my dreads represent. I haven't smoked no crack, drunk no beer, or combed my hair in 11 years. These are the clothes that I used to wear. I was sitting in a crack house in Daytona Beach, Florida, and I was writing God a letter. I had a piece of paper and a pencil in this purse, and I just started writing God a letter, just letting him know how sick and tired of being sick and tired I was. And until you get to that point, you know, we have to renew our minds, because our mind is a battlefield. But once I got it in my heart that I wanted to change, if I didn't do it for myself, I wasn't going to do it for nobody else. Because I tried to do it for family members. I tried to do it for my kids. I tried to do it for church. I tried to do it for jobs. But today, God has blessed me to do it for Blossom. So let's back up a little bit. In book 1, like I said, it tells you what led me to be on crack cocaine. I smoked it for 19 years. 19 years is a long time to be out there on crack. But it's by the grace of God I'm sitting here in my right mind. My great-grandmother, she raised me. And she thought that, I had wingworms back in the days. And she was taught if a child had wingworms to give them Coke 45. So every Sunday was my medicine day. That's what we called it, medicine. So I would run down the hall and run into the kitchen and open up the refrigerator at the age of 5, and it took everything I had. But when I opened that refrigerator, all I saw was my medicine, a Coke 45, the horse. I remember the horsey. And I would sit on the front porch with my great-grandmother, and I would drink my medicine. Now, I still ended up with wingworms, but I was nice and drunk every Sunday, you know. But that just lets you know you can't always go by what these generational things are. Once I got to the age, I went back to live with my mother and my sisters and my stepfather. And I tell everybody to be careful who we bring around our kids, because we don't know what is going on when we're not around, you know. Today, God has taught me how to give that secret back to my stepdad, because that's his secret. That's not my secret. But for 19 years, I held on to that secret. So in my hometown, I was known as the crackhead. I was known as the alcoholic. I was known as just a town drunk. And for being a woman, that's not a good topic to be named, you know. But at that time, when I was drinking and smoking crack, it soothed me. It made the pain go away, because I always remember what my stepdad used to say, that it was my fault. They was going to blame me, and that's what's true. So we have to be careful, too, what we allow people to speak into our spirit, because we can allow people to speak something that can vex us for a long time. So, like I said, I got pregnant at a young age, thinking that the guy was going to take me away from what I was going through at home, but that didn't work. And I advise all the young girls that are listening now, wait until you get married. Now, I don't regret any of my sons. I have 3 beautiful sons, age 30, 33, 30, 29, and 12 grandbabies. So when I go home, I play grandmama and I come on back home. But to wait, don't let these young men tell you that if you love them, that you'll lay down with them, and that's not true. Got married at a young age. Didn't love my husband, but he said he was in the military. I said, oh, money, travel, I can get away from home, you know. Always trying to get away. But one thing I learned, that we are our worst enemy, because I went from state to state at times when I was on drugs, and I always ended up in a crack house. And I used to say, well, how did I end up here? Because I took my worst enemy, which was myself. So like I said, I've traveled with my ex-husband. He was in the military. I was young, didn't know anything about no marriage or nothing like that. But I still had this secret that I was keeping. Over the years, I've learned to be careful who you trust your secrets with. I trusted one of my family members with my secret, and it backfired on me. But it's all working for my good. You know, back then I didn't realize that. I just felt betrayed. I was trying to please my husband. I was trying to please my family. But at that time, I didn't know you're supposed to please God, husband, me, then family. I didn't know that. So I was always wishy-washy, up and down, up and down. I got pregnant from my ex-husband, but due to stress, I ended up losing the baby behind stress. You can't, one thing I learned, we cannot people please. When we try to do that, we mess up so bad. Please listen to everything I'm telling you. So I ended up getting pregnant again with my second child, and I still didn't know how to be a mother. I mean, there's no book out. They might have all the books out, how to change the diaper, how to burp the diaper, but there's no book out how to actually be a mama, you know, and I didn't know. So you go by what you've been shown, you know. I tell a lot of people that when I was out there on the drugs, I was an unfit mother. I didn't sexually abuse them or physically abuse them, but mentally, I put my boys through a lot. And it's by the grace of God that they allowed me in their lives now to even have parts or allowed me to be called mama again. Then I ended up getting with a guy who was already on drugs. And I thought I could change him. And I've learned now we can't change anybody but ourselves. Then at this time, the beatings and stealing my money, all that started coming. I said, well, if I can't beat them, I might as well join them. And I made the guy sit there and teach me how to smoke crack cocaine. And if somebody going through what I'm talking about right now, you know, you feel like if you don't do what they want you to do, they're going to leave you. Like the haunted house said, leave, let them go. Listen to what I'm telling you. Let them go. Today, like I said, it's by the grace of God that I'm sitting here in my right mind, you know, and when God opened up the door for a TV talk show, I was on crack so bad back in the days, I would tell people I would have sold you a TV, but look, God has blessed it where I'm on a TV show. And so he's allowed me to tell my testimony and let people know if he cleaned me up, he can clean anybody up. So then the drugs got involved and the beatings got more and more, the black eyes, and that was a sign right then and there that I should have left. But you know, I used to think, and I don't think like that now, and I'm talking to a young lady right now. I used to think if they didn't beat you, they didn't care for you. That's not true. Please don't let nobody put that in your mind. And I used to think like that. If my eye wasn't black, one day out of the week, he didn't love me. I think sometimes I used to make him fight me so he could show me he loved me. Don't think like that now, though. So I end up, you know, going back and forth with the drugs. My great-grandmother and my mother, they raised my sons, and I thank God for that. They didn't have to go into foster care because so many people I know lost their kids like that, and I thank God for that. But I still was an unfit mother. And then I just got real wild with the drugs. I didn't care no more. I was getting high. I didn't care about myself. I didn't care about the children. Didn't care if I took a bath. I just didn't care. All I wanted was the crack cocaine. I tell a lot of people I liked it, smoking crack. I just didn't like the consequences that came with it. And when you can be honest with yourself, you can be honest with anybody else. So with that being said, back and forth, back and forth. So my first time ever getting in trouble was October the 7th, 1988. Got busted. Knew not to call home because my family was not finna come bomb me out. But, you know, I went to the phone and I made it seem like I was calling my mama. I knew not to call her because she wasn't going to come to get me. You'll find out who is for you when you get in trouble or you go to jail. I end up staying in jail for about 11 months and 29 days. And that's when I got introduced to the homosexual spirit. I tell a lot of people, God is blessing me to be able to tell my testimony, how he delivered me from that. We have so many people saying that they're born like that. That's not true. We're not born like that. That's a choice of a lifestyle. And I'm being honest, and I can tell you about Blossom that I went through that because I had been abused by so many men that I felt like going with a woman was better. And the enemy had me fooled like that at a time. So that's why we have to be careful who we twine up with, because it's different type of spirits out there. But I'm saying this to anybody who's struggling with that. It is a spirit. It is not of God. We're not born like that. So once I got out of jail, I still was not content because I still had that secret. Nobody didn't believe me that my stepdad did these things to me. And I'm telling you, I used to couldn't say the word molestation without going and getting high because it hurted so much. But once the high was gone and once the drunk was gone, I still had the same problem. You can live in the most prettiest house there is, and every time you drive up to your driveway, you see all the limbs and the branches, and it makes the house look so ugly. But until you get to the root of that tree and cut that root down, then you'll be able to see the beauty. He'll give you beauty for your ashes. And that's what mine was, being able to talk and cope with what happened to me as a child. Now, it still comes back up, but God has taught me how to give it back to my stepdad. So with that being said, like I said, books 1 and 2 tells you my life story, how God delivered me, how he's still working on me, because I'm not perfect. We're not perfect at all. But if I make a mistake, I just ask God, please forgive me. And we leave it at that. And if you've offended somebody, you just ask for forgiveness. Once God allowed me to get a year clean, I was able to I call them my soldiers. I was able to call each one of my soldiers and apologize for everything I had said and done. And once that was done, we don't owe nobody else nothing else. You don't have to keep going back over and over and over again asking for forgiveness. It just takes one time. But with that being said, if you have anybody that's out there on drugs, don't give up on them. I'm telling you, the God heaven true. I've been to prison. My prison number is 589931. I had it for the rest of my life, but it's just not a functional number. But God will give you beauty for your ashes if you don't give up. I'm not going to say it's easy, because it's not. I'm not going to say that you're not going to have no bad days, because you will. But if we know that God loves us, that's all I'm standing on right now. And like I said, just learn to love yourself, because when you can love yourself, you don't worry about nobody else. And yes, I've been looking for me a Boaz, but I've been taught to wait for the Boaz to come and look for me, because I know he's going to be worth the wait. And I always like to close out the show with Jeremiah 29:11. God has so much in store for us. He wants the best for us. He don't want us to be second best, second hand at nothing. So stand still and know who God is, and know that he loves you, that he sent Jesus to die on the cross for us, and that he's waiting for us. We got a mansion waiting. And with that being said, I am the one to gossip. I told you about Blossom. And I'll see you again.
Welcome to Creation Minute. I'm Eric Hovind. The Grand Canyon. 277 miles long, 10 to 18 miles wide, and more than a mile deep. That's impressive. In the bottom is the Colorado River. Some scientists suggest the Colorado River formed the Grand Canyon over millions of years. But take a look at these facts to see it from a different perspective. The Colorado River exits the canyon 1,800 feet above sea level. It enters the canyon 2,800 feet above sea level, and the top of Grand Canyon is 7,000 feet above sea level. So you tell me, did the river flow uphill for millions of years to carve out the Grand Canyon? Or is it possible that the Grand Canyon is the result of Noah's flood? To learn more about creation, visit us at creationminute.com.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. Protected the weak and defeated the strong. Shown courage and compassion. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
I always wanted a family. I waited for one, but it never seemed to work out. I would see other families and think how great it would be, but at least we had each other. And then my wife and I had the chance to be parents. 2 brothers wanted to be adopted together. Every day they fill us with hope and love. All the things we thought we were supposed to give them. Call the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, 800-ASK-DTFA. You'll change a child's life forever.